What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, there's a part of your personality that you've never met? A hidden aspect of yourself that's been pulling the strings of your life from the shadows, influencing every decision you make, every relationship you form, and every dream you either chase or abandon. Carl Jung, one of the most revolutionary psychologists in history, discovered that this hidden part of ourselves, what he called the shadow, isn't just some abstract concept. It's the key to unlocking a life of authenticity, purpose, and profound personal transformation. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 specific Jung-inspired practices that you can start implementing today. These aren't theoretical concepts, they're practical tools that have transformed thousands of lives, including my own. By the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap to meet your authentic self, integrate your shadow, and step into a version of yourself you never knew existed. But here's the thing. Jung's work isn't for the faint of heart. It requires you to look in the mirror and see not just who you think you are, but who you really are beneath all the masks you wear. Are you ready for that level of honesty with yourself? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This content goes deep, and I want to make sure you don't miss any part of this transformative journey we're about to embark on together. Let me start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. What aspects of other people irritate you the most? Write that down right now. I'm serious. Pause the video if you need to, and write down 3 personality traits or behaviors in others that absolutely drive you up the wall. Got them? Good. Because Jung discovered something remarkable. The traits we judge most harshly in others are often reflections of our own repressed qualities. Aspects of ourselves we've pushed into what he called the shadow. Your shadow isn't evil. It's not some dark, malevolent force. It's simply the collection of parts of yourself that you've deemed unacceptable, usually based on messages you received in childhood, societal expectations, or traumatic experiences. Think about it. If you were raised in a family where anger was never allowed, your ability to set boundaries and assert yourself got pushed into the shadow. If you were told that being emotional made you weak, your capacity for deep feeling and empathy might be hiding there. If success and achievement were the only things that mattered in your household, your playful, creative side probably got buried. Here's your first transformative practice: shadow dialogue journaling. Every morning for the next 7 days, I want you to spend 10 minutes writing a dialogue between your conscious self and your shadow. Start by asking, "Shadow, what part of me are you protecting?" Then write whatever comes up without censoring yourself. You might be surprised by what emerges. Your shadow might tell you that it's been protecting your sensitive heart by making you appear tough and unemotional. Or it might reveal that it's been sabotaging your relationships because it doesn't believe you deserve love. Let me share something personal. For years, I prided myself on being rational, logical, and unemotional in my decision-making. I judged people who seemed overly emotional or dramatic. But through shadow work, I discovered that my capacity for deep feeling, intuition, and creative expression had been buried since childhood. When I started honoring these aspects of myself, not only did I become more authentic, but my relationships deepened, my creativity flourished, and I stopped being triggered by emotional people. because I'd integrated that part of myself. The shadow integration process isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming whole. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that you've been unconsciously rejecting. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below, sharing one shadow aspect you've discovered about yourself. Let's create a community where we can be honest about our full humanity. And don't forget to like this video if you're finding value in Jung's profound insights. Now that we've introduced you to your shadow, let's talk about one of Jung's most powerful techniques, active imagination. This practice literally changed the trajectory of Jung's life and can do the same for yours. Active imagination isn't daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's a structured method of engaging with the unconscious mind to receive guidance, process emotions, and access creative solutions that your rational mind might never discover. Jung used this technique during his own psychological crisis, what he called his confrontation with the unconscious. Instead of trying to analyze or rationalize his inner turmoil, he learned to dialogue with it directly. Modern neuroscience has validated what Jung intuited a century ago. When we engage in active imagination, we're creating neural pathways between our conscious and unconscious minds. We're literally rewiring our brains for greater integration and wholeness. Here's how to practice active imagination. Step 1. Create sacred space. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for 20 to 30 minutes. Turn off your phone. Light a candle if that helps create the right atmosphere. Step 2. Enter a relaxed state. Close your eyes and take several deep breaths. Allow your mind to settle without trying to control your thoughts. Step 3. Invite an image. Ask your unconscious to present you with an image, symbol, or figure that has something important to share with you today. Don't force it. Simply remain open and receptive. Step 4. Engage in dialogue. When an image appears, it might be a person, animal, object, or even an abstract shape. Begin a conversation with it. Ask questions like, "Who are you? What message do you have for me? What do you need from me? How can you help me grow?" Step 5. Record the experience. Immediately after the session, write down everything you experienced without trying to interpret it. The meaning will often become clear over time. I had a client who was struggling with a major career decision. Through active imagination, she encountered an image of herself as a young girl who had been forced to abandon her artistic dreams. This inner child revealed that the career decision wasn't really about money or prestige. It was about finally honoring her creative soul. That conversation led her to make a career change that aligned with her authentic self, and she's never been happier. Once you're comfortable with basic active imagination, you can create what Jung called an inner council, a group of inner figures who can offer guidance on different aspects of your life. You might have the wise elder for life direction, the inner child for creativity and joy, the warrior for courage and boundary setting, the lover for relationships and passion, the magician for transformation and change. Regular dialogue with these aspects creates a rich inner life and provides access to wisdom that goes far beyond your everyday thinking mind. Many people struggle with active imagination because they expect it to be logical or immediately meaningful. Remember, the unconscious speaks in symbols, metaphors, and images, not linear thoughts. trust the process even when it seems strange or nonsensical. Try your first active imagination session this week and share your experience in the comments. What image or figure appeared to you? What message did you receive? Remember, there are no wrong answers, only insights waiting to be discovered. We've talked about integrating your shadow and dialoguing with your unconscious. Now let's explore Jung's ultimate goal for human development: individuation. Individuation isn't about becoming successful, popular, or even happy in the conventional sense. It's about becoming authentically yourself, free from the unconscious patterns, projections, and personas that keep you trapped in a life that isn't truly yours. Most people live their entire lives wearing masks, playing roles that were assigned to them by family, society, or circumstance. The good student, the responsible employee, the perfect parent, the strong man, the nurturing woman. These personas aren't inherently bad, but when they become rigid identities, they prevent us from accessing our full humanity. Jung distinguished between the persona, the mask we wear in public, and the true self that exists beneath all our roles and identities. The persona is necessary for functioning in society, but problems arise when we become so identified with our masks that we forget who we are underneath them. Think about it. How much of your current life is based on who you think you should be rather than who you actually are? How many of your goals, relationships, and choices are driven by external expectations rather than inner authenticity? This exercise will help you distinguish between inherited values and authentic values. Step 1. List your current values. Write down the 10 values that seem most important to you right now. These might include things like success, security, family, creativity, justice, spirituality, etc. Step 2. Trace the origins. For each value, ask yourself, where did this value come from? Was it inherited from your family, absorbed from your culture, developed through personal experience? Step 3. The authenticity test. For each value, imagine you're the only person on Earth. If no one could judge you, reward you, or punish you for your choices, would this value still be important to you? If the answer is no, it might be an inherited value rather than an authentic one. Step 4. Identify authentic values. Circle the values that pass the authenticity test. These are likely expressions of your true self. Step 5. Reality check. Look at how you actually spend your time, energy, and resources. Does your current life reflect your authentic values or your inherited ones? Jung recognized that individuation follows the pattern of what Joseph Campbell called the hero's journey. You leave the familiar world of unconscious living, face challenges and shadows, receive guidance from wise inner figures, and return transformed with gifts for yourself and others. But here's what most people don't understand. The hero's journey isn't a one-time event. It's a spiral process that repeats throughout your life as you encounter new challenges and opportunities for growth. Signs you're ready for individuation. You feel dissatisfied with your life, even though it looks successful from the outside. You find yourself questioning beliefs and values you've never questioned before. You feel drawn to explore aspects of yourself you've previously ignored or rejected. You're experiencing what Jung called a midlife crisis, though this can happen at any age. You feel called to contribute something meaningful to the world. Individuation isn't just about deep psychological work. It's about making daily choices that honor your authentic self. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what would my truest self choose here? Notice when you're performing your persona versus being authentic, and gently adjust. Pay attention to what energizes you versus what drains you. Your authentic self thrives on what's truly aligned. Regularly check in with your body's wisdom. It often knows your truth before your mind does. I worked with a highly successful corporate executive who had everything society told him he should want: money, status, recognition. But he was miserable. Through individuation work, he discovered that his true calling was teaching and mentoring young people. He didn't immediately quit his job. Individuation isn't about dramatic changes. Instead, he began volunteering as a mentor, gradually shifting his role at work to focus more on developing others, and eventually transitioned to a career in education. The transformation wasn't just career-related. His relationships deepened, his health improved, and he discovered a sense of purpose he'd never experienced. Take a moment right now to reflect. What mask are you wearing that no longer serves you? What aspect of your authentic self is asking to be expressed? Share your insights in the comments. Your courage to be vulnerable might inspire someone else to begin their own individuation journey. Now let's explore one of Jung's most fascinating discoveries: synchronicity. These aren't random coincidences. They're meaningful connections between your inner psychological state and outer events that can guide you toward your authentic path. Jung defined synchronicity as a meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved. In simpler terms, it's when the external world seems to mirror or respond to your internal psychological processes. Let me share a powerful synchronicity from my own life. I was struggling with whether to leave a secure but unfulfilling job to pursue my passion for psychology and helping others. I was terrified of making the wrong choice. One morning, while walking and wrestling with this decision, I found a book lying on the sidewalk, literally just sitting there. It was Jung's Man and His Symbols, opened to a page about having the courage to follow your authentic path. That same day, I received an unexpected email about a scholarship opportunity for the psychology program I'd been considering. These weren't just coincidences. They were meaningful synchronicities that provided guidance at a crucial moment. Jung believed that synchronicities emerge when you're psychologically ready for change or growth. They often occur during times of major life transitions, deep inner work or therapy, creative projects, spiritual awakening, relationship changes, career decisions. The key is that synchronicities don't just happen randomly. They appear when your unconscious mind is trying to communicate something important to your conscious awareness. For the next 30 days, keep a synchronicity journal. Daily practice. Each morning, briefly set an intention to be open to meaningful guidance. Throughout the day, notice unusual coincidences, repeated symbols, unexpected encounters, or events that seem meaningful. Each evening, record any synchronicities you noticed. Note your emotional and psychological state when each synchronicity occurred. Look for patterns and themes over time. What to look for: repeated numbers, symbols, or words. Unexpected encounters with people who have relevant messages. Books, songs, or media that appear at just the right moment, dreams that connect to waking events, animal encounters, or natural phenomena that feel meaningful. Technology glitches that lead to important discoveries. How to increase synchronicity awareness. Practice present moment awareness. Synchronicities often occur in moments of presence rather than when you're lost in mental chatter. Regular meditation, mindful walking, or simply paying attention to your surroundings increases your receptivity. Ask better questions. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" try asking, "What is life trying to teach me right now?" Or, "What guidance is available to me?" The quality of your questions influences the quality of the guidance you receive. Trust your intuition. Synchronicities often feel meaningful before you understand why. Learn to trust that initial sense of significance even when your logical mind can't explain it. The science behind synchronicity. While synchronicity can't be measured in traditional scientific terms, quantum physics has revealed that reality is far more interconnected than we previously understood. The observer effect demonstrates that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality, which aligns with Jung's understanding that synchronicities emerge from the dynamic relationship between mind and matter. Common types of synchronicities. Guidance. Synchronicities. Events that provide direction during decision-making. Confirmation synchronicities. Experiences that validate you're on the right path. Warning synchronicities. Occurrences that suggest you need to pay attention or change course. Healing synchronicities. Encounters that facilitate emotional or spiritual healing. Creative synchronicities. Coincidences that spark artistic or innovative breakthroughs. Working with synchronicities practically. When you notice a synchronicity, pause and pay attention. Don't dismiss it as mere coincidence. Feel into it. What emotions or sensations arise when you notice the synchronicity? Ask for clarification. If the meaning isn't immediately clear, ask for additional guidance. Take inspired action. If the synchronicity suggests a course of action, trust it enough to take a small step. Express gratitude. Acknowledge the guidance you've received. A word of caution. While synchronicities can provide powerful guidance, avoid becoming obsessed with finding meaning in every random event. True synchronicities have an unmistakable quality of significance that you'll learn to recognize with practice. Start your Synchronicity Journal this week and share one meaningful coincidence you've experienced in the comments. You might be surprised by how many people have similar stories. We're all more connected than we realize. We've covered a lot of ground together: shadow integration, active imagination, individuation, and synchronicity awareness. But knowledge without application is just intellectual entertainment. Let's create a practical framework for integrating these Jung-inspired practices into your daily life. The Daily Jungian practice. Morning, 10 minutes. Spend 5 minutes in active imagination, asking your unconscious, "What do I need to know today?" Write down any dreams from the previous night and note potential meanings. Set an intention to remain open to synchronicities and guidance. Midday check-in, 5 minutes. Ask yourself, am I operating from my authentic self or my persona right now? Notice any shadow projections or triggers that have emerged. Adjust your approach to align more closely with your true values. Evening reflection, 10 minutes. Journal about any synchronicities you noticed. Write a brief dialogue with any shadow aspects that got triggered during the day. Express gratitude for insights received and set intentions for continued growth. Weekly practices. Dedicate 30 minutes to deeper active imagination work. Review your Synchronicity Journal for patterns and themes. Assess how well your current life choices align with your authentic values. Practice one small act of courage in expressing your true self. Monthly practices. Conduct a comprehensive shadow inventory. What new aspects have emerged? Review your individuation journey. What growth have you noticed? Adjust your daily practices based on what's working and what isn't. Share your insights with a trusted friend or therapist who supports your growth. Creating your personal Jung-inspired mission statement. Take a moment now to craft a personal mission statement based on what you've learned. I commit to becoming increasingly authentic by integrating my shadow, honoring my unconscious wisdom, following my individual path, and remaining open to the meaningful guidance that life provides. Customize this to reflect your specific insights and intentions. Building a supportive community. Jung emphasized that individuation doesn't happen in isolation. Surround yourself with people who support your authentic self-expression, are doing their own inner work, can mirror back your blind spots with compassion. Celebrate your growth rather than trying to keep you small. When resistance arises. This work isn't always easy. You might encounter fear of what you'll discover about yourself, resistance from others who prefer your old personas, confusion about which inner voices to trust, discouragement when growth feels slow. Remember, resistance is often a sign that you're approaching something important. Be patient and compassionate with yourself as you navigate this transformation. The ripple effect. As you become more authentic and integrated, you give others permission to do the same. Your individuation journey doesn't just benefit you, it contributes to the collective healing of our world. Jung believed that the most important thing any individual could do for humanity was to become genuinely themselves. Final challenge? Before this video ends, I want to give you a specific challenge. Choose one practice from today's content and commit to it for the next 30 days. Whether it's shadow dialogue journaling, active imagination sessions, synchronicity awareness, or daily authenticity check-ins. Pick one and go deep with it. If this video has sparked something in you, I want you to take action right now. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell for more depth psychology content. Like this video if it provided value. It helps other people discover these transformative insights. Share this video with someone you care about who might benefit from Jung's wisdom. Comment below with which practice you're committing to for the next 30 days. Join our community of authentic individuals by following the links in the description. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You have that privilege right now, in this moment. The practices we've shared today aren't just psychological techniques, they're pathways to reclaiming the fullness of who you are beneath all the masks, shoulds, and conditioning. Your authentic self is waiting. Your shadow wants to be integrated. Your unconscious mind has wisdom to share. The universe is ready to support your individuation journey through meaningful synchronicities. The question isn't whether you're capable of this transformation. You absolutely are. The question is whether you're willing to begin. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Jung's transformative psychology. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today and watch your life shift in ways you never imagined possible. Until next time, keep growing, keep becoming, and keep honoring the magnificent complexity of who you truly are.